Hey, what's good, family? This is Ryan Jackson from Ryan Jackson LLC. Hope you guys are having a blessed and wonderful day. Hope you know that your new year, your holiday was good for those of y'all who celebrate the holidays. Hope your the Christmas holiday and New Year's holiday was good for you and your family. I got into I don't celebrate the holidays, but if you do, hope that you enjoyed your family, your friends. Hope that if you went out of town, hope that you get back to your to your home safely, inshallah. And I hope everyone's doing well into what the world call New Year. Hope that you all are doing well. I hope that you're healthy, you and your families. Today's the second day of 2025, Thursday. So always remember this. Into this life a little rain must fall. So in the likelihood that you're having one of those days already, even the second day into the new year, always remember this. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope, trust, and faith in Allah God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. So, as we've been hearing on social media and on the news, um, there was a terrorist attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Uh, uh, just sick individual, a sick individual drove a pickup truck. I'm sorry, plowed his pickup truck that he rented, plowed it into pedestrians on Bourbon Street. 15 people were murdered. My condolences to their loved ones. This never should have happened. It's inexcusable. This man plowed his this pickup truck on Bourbon Street. He went around a police barricade or police vehicles and plowed his vehicle on Bourbon Street. There's video of it, unfortunately, and 15 people were murdered. Dozens, I think over 30 people were injured. It's a miracle that more people weren't killed, but 15 people is far too many. Even if it was one or two lives, that's still far too many. 15 is a lot of people. Um, and this was right after the New Year. What, 2 hours into New Year's? Into the New Year, excuse me, into the New Year holiday, and this happens. People partying it up on Bourbon Street. I've been down there, and it's sad that this happened. The individual, he was former military. He's an army. He was in the army, and he rented his pickup truck off of a site called Turo. It's an app where you can rent, vehicles, and he used it to do this horrific attack on New Year morning. People just ringing in the New Year in a celebratory mood, partying it up on Bourbon Street. Next thing you know, they're running for their lives or they're being plowed down by a pickup truck. Just senseless. So the Sugar Bowl is going on right now as I speak. I actually got it on my TV, but I'm not watching it because I want to do this video and I want to be focused. But I just have it as noise, whatever. You can't really hear it. But Notre Dame and Georgia are playing right now at the Sugar Bowl at the Superdome down in New Orleans. They were supposed to play yesterday, but they canceled the game because it was just they canceled the game. They canceled it because of safety concerns, and it just wasn't the time for that. So now they're playing it. It was supposed to be played yesterday evening. So that was what happened in New Orleans. Going out west to Las Vegas, a crazed driver rented a Tesla Cybertruck off of Turo with the terrorists in New York, where he rented his pickup truck. He rented a Tesla Cybertruck, loaded it with explosives, and blew himself up right outside Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Few people, I think 6 people were injured, but he died. He killed himself. So he's gone. Amazingly enough, more people weren't hurt and it did not do any damage to the building. It was the blast didn't, you know, um, go out. It was the blast. I think the way that how Elon Musk explained it, that those trucks, the way they made that when he blew it up, the explosion just went up. It didn't go outward. So it didn't. There was no like after effects. I don't think he knew that. I think he wanted to kill to hurt people inside. You know, because when you have when a car explodes or a vehicle explodes, it explodes outward. So there's a lot of shrapnel, a lot of glass that's exploding. But it didn't do that to the Trump Hotel, and thank Allah it didn't, because there probably were people in that lobby, including the staff that worked there, and they could have been badly injured or killed. So thank Allah that no one else was hurt or killed or maimed by glass and shrapnel. I don't think he knew that. But I also forgot to mention that the driver in New Orleans, the terrorist in New Orleans, when he got out of his truck, he exchanged gunfire with the police. He exchanged gunfire with the New Orleans police, and they gunned him down. And good. I forgot to mention that. Got out the vehicle, exchanged gunfire. I think 2 cops were hurt, were wounded, but they took him out. And like I said, good for them because he deserved it. They did their job. So he's no longer here. Great. Hold on one second. I'm trying to see if I get some more lighting. Give me 1 second. I think that's a little better. Had to open my blind. Oh, yeah, that's a lot better. I apologize for that. Before I go any further, hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications on the new videos on here. But what a way to ring in the new year. 2 terrorist attacks. Oh, and last night in New York, in Queens, 10 people were wounded in a mass shooting outside of a nightclub. The reports I read said there were 3 or 4 gunmen who shot into a crowd of people, wounding 10. Last time I read, no arrests have been made. But New York, like all cities, they have video cameras. People have cell phones. They got these street cameras now. So somebody saw something or something saw something. So I hope they'll be brought to justice uh, expeditiously, soon and very soon. So that happened in New York, in Queens last night. Again, New Year's night into the second day of the year, but still on New Year, the New Year holiday. Countless number of people injured, multiple people dead, and before I go any further on the shooting in New York, let me touch on New Orleans and Las Vegas. So the feds, the FBI, and local law enforcement keep on saying that these incidents aren't connected. They say they're not connected. I'll call bullshit. I do not, and I said this on social media, I do not trust the feds. I do not trust local law enforcement, these law enforcement agencies. They have lied to us on countless occasions. Why should this be any different? They keep lying to us. Keep lying to us. These incidents aren't related? Really? So, here's a factoid for you. The terrorists in New Orleans and the terrorists in Las Vegas both were in the army. Both were in the army. Guess what? They both served at the same base. I don't think you heard what I said. They both were in the army and they both served at the same base. They both rented their vehicles that they used to terrorize people, to kill and maim people. They used both of their vehicles. They rented both of their vehicles off of an app called Turo. Now, Turo, I'm sure Turo didn't know that these devils were going to do this. They were trying to kill people and and injure people. So I'm not blaming them. It's an app where you rent vehicles. I know people who've done it. It's a convenience. But I'm sure that these devils didn't go there. Well, we're going to rent vehicles and we're going to just blow people up. We want to rent it. No, they wouldn't allow. They wouldn't allow them to do that. They allowed them to rent these vehicles on the strength that they were renting these vehicles to drive them around, drive it around New Orleans, drive it around Las Vegas. But the fact that these were former military members and they served at the same base, you can't tell me that there's some kind of connection there. Did these two devils, did they know each other? Did they plan this? Now they saying that the terrorist in New Orleans that he was inspired by ISIS. Here we go with ISIS. 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 We haven't heard nothing about ISIS for months, for years. Now ISIS is in the news. ISIS done resurfaced. ISIS. 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 Here we go with this. Now they're gonna target Muslims. But these people who do this, they're not Muslims. Muslims are not. It's nowhere in the Quran does it call for us to kill innocent men, women, and children, injure people. It does not say that in the Holy Quran. I dare you to show me that. Nowhere in the Quran does it says that. Do it say that? Allah is not in that. Yes, we defend ourselves. We defend our families if we're attacked. But nowhere does it call for us to take the lives of innocent men, women, and children or injure people. No, no, they're not Muslim. A Muslim is someone who submits to the will of God. That devil in New Orleans did not submit to the will of God because it was not God's will for him to kill those people and injure those people. That is insane. He's a fraud Muslim, fraudulent Muslim. But he was inspired by ISIS. Or was he inspired by the United States government? I'm telling you, this government, they're itching, they're fiending to start a war, and they need an excuse. They are fiending for a war, fiending like an addict, fiend for drugs. They're fiending for war. America is a war addict. I'm going to repeat that again. America is a war addict. They're fiending for war. They want another war. They want to go to war with Russia, want to go to war with China, and not on Iran, North Korea. They better be careful because those countries I just mentioned, guess what they have that we have too? Nuclear capabilities. Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea. So you better be careful, United States. You better be careful. They are fiending for a war, fiending in the name of democracy. But it's a hypocrisy. That's what Brother Malcolm said. So we gotta be careful. We have got to be careful. We need to pay attention. Now, going back to the shooting in New York, in Queens, a crowd of people, 10 people were wounded. Thankfully, none were fatal. But from what I saw in the New York Post, it was a grudge from a gang, that shooting. This gang had a grudge and they shot into the crowd. I think they say it was 3 or 4 gunmen, and they shot into a crowd and wounded 10 people. But they said it was kind of like a grudge. Let me see here. Gang grudge may have sparked mass shooting outside New York City nightclub during memorial for slain teen. It was a memorial for a slain teen. These people are sick. And this is from the New York Post. A bloody Wednesday night shooting outside a Queens nightclub that left 10 injured was at a memorial for a teenager gunned down in Brooklyn in October and may have been a gang related hit, sources said. More than 100 people, most of them teenagers, lined up outside the Amazura nightclub in Jamaica, Queens, to remember 16-year-old Terrion Mungo, who was shot dead at the Walt Whitman Houses public housing complex in Fort Greene on October 26 when gunmen opened fire, police said. According to law enforcement sources, Mungo may have been affiliated with the FNO Street Gang or the four N words, almost four, excuse me for saying this, four niggas or niggers only crew. And Wednesday's shooting may have been linked. Lord have mercy. So it's bad enough that they killed this young man in October, but they had to finish off the job and shoot into a crowd and wound 10 people. You have to finish the job. People can't mourn their loved one. You have to finish the job and just shoot at these people. This is a sick world we live in. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, he said, I hate this world. I hate this world. I hate it. I do too, Minister. I do too. God hates this world. That's why he's going to destroy it and start a new world. He hates this world. This world is sick. Hey, brother. Hey, brother Iron Will. How you doing, brother? Salute to you. Thank you for tuning in. A lot of immigrants in New York. Mongo sounds African to me. Yes, there are a lot of immigrants in the Big Apple. Mongo sounds like it's a Spanish name, maybe. Maybe I don't know. Maybe like a Central American, maybe Guatemalan, somewhere like that, Belize, maybe even Puerto Rican. Maybe Puerto Rican. There are a lot of Puerto Ricans in New York. We know they are a U.S. territory, but they're not. They're not Black Americans like how we are. But We know Puerto Rico, yeah, it's he made it sound like it could be a Puerto Rican name, maybe Cuban, maybe somewhere Dominican, maybe. More so Dominican. Dominican. Sound like it could be a Dominican name. There are a lot of Dominicans in New York. So it sounds like he may be from the Dominican Republic or something like that. But this is just a sick world. Just a sick, sick world. Sick. And we only 2 days into the new year, 2 days into 2025, and we had two terrorist, well, actually three terrorist attacks, because that shooting in New York, that's a terrorist attack. That's an act of terrorism. May not be on the scales of what happened in New Orleans or Las Vegas, but guess what? It's still a terrorist attack because you're terrorizing folks. You shoot into a crowd of people, you wounded 10 people, that's a terrorist attack. And those gunmen are terrorists. And I hope they're brought to justice soon. But the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said decades ago, he warned black people against being in large crowds. And this is why. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad, decades ago, he told black people to avoid being in large crowds. We saw in New Orleans, like I mentioned earlier, this man plowed his pickup truck into a crowd of people. It's just amazing. It's a miracle that he didn't kill all those people. He killed 15, which is still a substantial amount of people that were murdered. That's still a lot of people. It's a miracle he didn't kill more. He plowed his truck down Bourbon Street. And when my wife and I were in New Orleans 2 years ago, it was maybe a week or two before Mardi Gras. We walked down Bourbon Street at night, in the evening, and there aren't cars allowed on Bourbon Street. There aren't cars allowed on Bourbon Street at night. They have Bourbon Street blocked off. Well, you know, to an extent. They didn't have any barriers up yet, but they didn't allow vehicles down Bourbon Street. We walked down the middle of Bourbon Street, going back to our hotel. We um, stopped at a restaurant, got something to eat right there on Bourbon Street. So we went down Bourbon Street. We then we went to a restaurant slash bar, got something to eat, whatever. Saw people walking down Bourbon Street partying, just enjoying New Orleans. And there were no vehicles allowed down Bourbon Street. So the fact that he was able to drive his truck down there and plow into these people is 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 beyond me. And he got past police. Wow. My heart goes out to those families, to those injured. May Allah give you, console you at this time. May He bring you through this tough time of sadness. And just you have my condolences. But he was taken out. Allah's justice was served because he was murdered. He was taken out of here, and rightfully so. Now that devil in Las Vegas who blew himself up, I guess he didn't do his research on those vehicles because, like Elon Musk said, those vehicles, those Tesla Cybertrucks, I guess if you if you try to blow them up, it goes it goes upward. They explode upward, not outward. So there wasn't any broken glass. There wasn't any, any shrapnel. And we thank Allah for that because it could have been a lot worse in Las Vegas, just like in New Orleans. But for the FBI and the local and these law enforcement agencies to say it's not connected, it's total bullshit. They are connected. The FBI has been known to lie to the American public before. So has law enforcement. We cannot take their word for anything. We have to do research. What does the Holy Quran say? And I'm paraphrasing, but they said when an untrustworthy source bring you news, do your research. Do your research. I'm paraphrasing, but pretty much when an unreliable source, untrustworthy source bring you news, do your due diligence and do your research. And it would not surprise me if it comes out later on, or maybe sooner, that these two devils, the one in New Orleans, the one in Las Vegas, knew each other and planned their attacks. They were in the army, they were stationed at the same base. That right there gives you some relation. But again, America, like I said not earlier, America, they're fiending for a war. They are fiending like a crack addict fiends for crack, a heroin addict fiends for heroin, an alcoholic fiends for alcohol, people who are obese or are gluttonous, they fiend for food. This is America. It's like an addict. They are just a war fiends. They are, and they need to blame these attacks on someone. The one in New Orleans, ISIS, ISIS, ISIS. I haven't heard ISIS claim responsibility. He said they said that he was inspired by ISIS. Okay. Was he really? I don't know. I don't trust the media. That's another unreliable source. Fear is big business here in this country. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. Peace, my brother. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Salute to you. Fear propaganda is a multi-billion-dollar business here in these United States. They want people to fear ISIS so they can start up another war. Pay attention to what's going on in the Middle East, particularly in Syria, Yemen, um, in that area, in that region. Yes, Syria and Yemen. And Lebanon too. Pay attention. Pay attention. Also with Israel and Palestine. They still trying to take over the Gaza Strip. They still bombing Palestinians. US is orchestrating this proxy war. This whole thing with Iran. Pay attention. Pay attention. They want to blame this on ISIS, but what it is, the United States need a scapegoat. They need a scapegoat to start a war. They need to sell another war to the American people, get us all scared. Oh, now, like I said a few minutes ago, you should avoid crowds. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad warned black people, decades ago about being in large crowds. You should do that, but it shouldn't take something happening to for you to avoid these crowds. Large crowds aren't good anyway because you can't move around. A lot of people are claustrophobic. You smothered. You're around unruly people. Not all, but far too many. It's just like, oh man. He warned us to avoid large crowds, and you see what could happen. Be smart. Use wisdom. Don't be scared. Don't be fear. Don't use fear. We just should be cognizant of what's going on. Pay attention. There are too many unknown variables. Exactly. But for them to say that it's not connected, I don't trust the feds. I don't trust law enforcement agencies. I just don't. I don't. They've lied to us time and time and time before. Why is this any different? Why? I don't trust them. The fact that these two devils were in the army and served at the same base, that they may want to do some investigating on that, dig deeper down to see if they knew each other, did they serve in the same unit, did they have the same contacts, their supervision in the military, what unit were they in, did they deploy? You have to go down the rabbit hole because, like my brother said, there are too many unknown variables. Too many. So just to dismiss it, oh, it's not connected. No, that's bullshit, and that's being lazy. And I heard people complain about the FBI agent or whatever. I don't know if she was an agent or direct. No, she wasn't an agent, but she was a higher up in the FBI. The sister that had the nose ring. Why are you concerned about her nose ring? You should be concerned about why this happened and to prevent it from happening in the future. Yes, the FBI has standards. I get it. But why is that your main concern? People lost their lives. Jason Whitlock, he mentioned that on Twitter. I'm maybe 60-40, 50-50 with Jason Whitlock. Half of the stuff he says I agree with. Maybe 55-45. There are more things I agree with him on than disagree with him, but it's almost half and half because sometimes he sounds like Uncle Ruckus. He just does. Good brother, from what I can see, but he sounds like Uncle Ruckus. He just does. So, like I said, the nose ring, whatever, man. Okay. I'm more concerned about people's lives being lost, people being injured, than I am about some damn nose ring. That should be irrelevant. But whatever. It is what it is. I mean, her having a nose ring don't mean she can't do her job she's not effective in her job, or she's ineffective. I mean, that I don't know. But again, whether it's her or anyone, I just don't trust the feds. I just don't trust them because there's something they're not telling us. Maybe they know that these two individuals have some contact with each other in the past, and they don't want to tell the public that. So they're withholding the information, and they're lying to us saying it's not connected. There's no relation. I don't trust the media. I don't trust the feds. I don't trust law enforcement. I trust Allah. I trust the truth, and the truth will come out. Better believe it. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I just seen this movie before, and I pay attention to things. And there's a trend with the feds and law enforcement in this country where they have been known to lie more than be honest with the public. So I go off that. I go off history. Any event, I'm gonna hop off of here. Let me know what y'all think. I would love to know your opinions, your comments. Drop them below. Let me know what you think. Share this video. Share it, share it, share it. Share it as much as possible. Let's have the conversation. Let's have the conversation, y'all. Support my YouTube channel here and my future projects. Have things coming down the tunnel here in the future, inshallah. So please support this channel and those projects. I need y'all love and support because I can't do it without y'all. So I really appreciate and love y'all immensely. I know we're gonna disagree. There are gonna be some who disagree, and that's fine. We all have a right to our opinion. However, let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable, especially on topics such as this. In our disagreements, let's use logic, common sense, and respect, not emotion and disrespect. That'll get you nowhere. So share this video, share it, share it, share it. Smash that like button, smash it up, smash it up. Hit that subscribe button so you get notifications whenever I do videos on here, and I will appreciate it. And y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. Before I go, like I always end my videos, whether you going to work, traveling back from your vacation for the holidays, whatever you may be doing, running errands, be safe, y'all. Be safe. Beware and be aware. As we see, and as we have seen, Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy now more than ever before. So it behooves us to beware and be aware. Avoid large crowds if possible. Please adhere to what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad warned us against decades ago. Avoid large crowds by any means possible, and just be safe. Beware and be aware, brothers and sisters. I love y'all. Have a blessed rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon, inshallah. But I'm out, and take care. Share this video. Let's have a conversation. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.